Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." For nearly 2 decades, CNBC-TV18, in partnership with the Schwab Foundation at the World Economic Forum and the Jubilant Bharatiya Foundation, have brought you stories of social entrepreneurs who are building impactful enterprises in India with the chief purpose of inclusive growth. Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2023 features 4 change agents who are pioneering breakthrough solutions that have the impact at scale in healthcare, community solutions led by women for climate action, inclusive growth led by citizens as change makers. Now, they're changing the way services are delivered at the bottom of the pyramid through inventive use of technology and a grounds-up approach. And this year is particularly significant as the agenda of inclusive and sustainable growth has been India's top priority at the G20. Hello and welcome to Change Agents. I'm Dhimant. India witnessed 788,000 instances of maternal deaths, stillbirths and neonatal fatalities in 2020 as reported by the WHO, UNICEF and UNFPA. Now, while the statistics present a somber picture, they also underscore the imperative for adopting new approaches to achieve different outcomes. Dr. Aparna Hegde, a specialist in urogynecology, established ARMMAN with the intention of bridging the systemic gaps within healthcare services catering to pregnant women and children. Using a tech plus touch approach, here's the ARMMAN story.
One day, Anita arrived in labor, convulsing with hypertension. When I opened her papers, I was shocked. It was my own handwriting. I had seen Anita in the 3rd month of pregnancy, but she never came back. I saw these stories play out daily. Women and children dying in the most horrific of circumstances. If only they had got the right information at the right time about how to take care of themselves and their children. And if only the health workers had been trained to be able to pick up the risk factors in time in the community itself. And given the scale of India's problems, it became very obvious to me that any solution I designed had to be community-based, but also scalable. ARMMAN focuses on the pre-hospital based care both for the mother and the child, so that on the one hand, we inform women about the care to be taken during pregnancy and infancy so that they access care in time, and we train the health workers at every level of the health system to be able to give that kind of care early enough using mobile health solutions. Our services on the health information side include mMitra, our flagship program, and the program that we run in collaboration with the Government of India called Kilkari. We reach 40 million women and their children in 20 states of India through these programs. Both mMitra and Kilkari are free voice call services that send timed and targeted preventive care information directly to the phones of the enrolled women. Both solutions have language preference. It's a missed call system. The woman can give a missed call to listen to the message that she's missed, and we also have a call center for any query that the woman may have. And now we're moving on to a fit-for-purpose approach where, based on the technology access and based on the degree of need, we have targeted approaches so that we are able to reach the last mile of the last mile. Our goal in the next 5 years is not only reach 70 million women and their children through our voice calling and fit-for-purpose approach solutions, but we also want to reach around 10 million equity encumbered women and children. We have a program called Mobile Academy that we run in collaboration with the Government of India for the ASHA workers, the frontline health volunteers in every village of the country. And right now the program runs in 17 states of India. We've reached around 325,000 ASHAs. Currently, Mobile Academy is voice-based, but because now most ASHAs have access to smartphones, so we'll be moving on to WhatsApp-based and smartphone-based solutions. And up the ladder are the nurses and medical officers and the specialists. Now here we have a solution called Integrated High-Risk Pregnancy Management Program that's running in the whole of Telangana currently and has now moved to Andhra Pradesh and will be moving to other states shortly. In this program, firstly, we've created high-risk pregnancy protocols with algorithmic color-coded, extremely detailed protocols for every level of the cadre. And now we're doing training of almost 9,500 nurses, 1,500 medical officers and 350 specialists in these protocols. Eventually, we want to have a system where, a Kilkari Mobile Academy and Integrated Harris Pregnancy Management Program are working in a particular state where the database is talking to each other. We also have partnership with, Google and Harvard, where we create AI-based models for improved program efficiency and improved impact of our, and outcomes. For example, we already built a model with the help of Google and Harvard, where we can predict at the time of enrollment itself which woman is likely to drop out of the program so that we can get her back in the system. It took me 5 years to get the first funding for ARMMAN, also because of the fact that scalable solutions are created by big multilateral agencies. It's pretty rare for homegrown Indian NGOs to build large-scale solutions. One thing that really astounded me is the fact that information is empowerment, and the empowerment is intergenerational.
While climate change impacts everyone, it does not impact everyone equally. Vulnerability stems from factors like gender, ethnicity, and low income, impacting almost 200 million in South Asia's informal settlements as per the UN. Effective climate solutions must address these realities. Women's inclusion, given their local expertise, is vital for impactful climate action. The Mahila Housing Trust Women, through community-based organization, driving responsible urban development conversations by empowering impoverished women to lead. Mahila Housing Trust invests in collective action. Let's take a look.
We started Mahila Housing Trust in the year 1994. We actually started talking to a lot of poor women in the informal sector. They were functioning from their homes and their economy was dependent on it, but they did not have access to good house, to water, to sanitation, electricity at their doorstep, which was legal. A lot of the loans that these women were also taking from Seva Bank and from other informal sources were going towards improving their housing. And so we understood that their housing is their productive asset, and if it improves, then their economic productivity improves, and therefore we decided we would start working on habitat improvement. What we do is from the entire slum settlement, one woman representing each household would become our member. They would come together to form a community-based organization. They would discuss amongst themselves, and then they would elect a group of 11 to 15 women from within them to represent their interests and their welfare to the government, to the private sector, and for that matter any other individual who would help them get access to better water or legal electricity. Also access the government schemes for better housing. So these community action groups then get trained with support from MHT on what could those schemes be, how to access scheme of the government. So for example, there were about 129 households living in a slum, sewage which kept overflowing, with every monsoon, rooftops will be leaking. So Mahila Housing Trust went there and informed them of the scheme, what you call the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, where they would get the houses on a as-is where-is basis on the same plot. So we had to then negotiate with the community action groups and the developer so that before they vacated the plot for construction, they would get maximum rent from the developer. They will be ensured legal documentation so they get the housing once it was completed. Now they have got this very good 7-floor apartment. So I think it's a huge legal asset building in the name of the women. Due to excess heat, women lose around 1.5 to 2 hours of productive working hours every day. So with this in mind, we have been working in all 36 cities on issues of heat. One of the very big program we have been taken ahead is that of is a cool roof program. Then we deployed various cool roof solutions like bamboo roofs or what we call mod roofs or heat resistant paints. Mahila Housing Trust has actually established for-profit savings and credit organizations where poor women are the shareholders, they are the investors, and they save. And it is from their pool of shareholding and savings we then give out loans. So they get paid interest on their savings. They also have to pay interest on the loans. Almost 100,000 women till now have availed these financial services. We have almost worked and improved the lives of 1.7 million people, and we hope to reach another 1.7 million directly till about 2027. If collectives of women are actually given the technical knowledge, the skills and the negotiation power to work with governments and with the private sector, they are able to improve not only their habitat but also come out of vicious cycle of poverty.
Dr. Hegde and Bijal wish you the very best of luck. We will head into a break, but when we return, the power of storytelling and a man who's revolutionizing healthcare in India. That and more when we return. You're watching the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2023. Building on the impact of good storytelling, the Better India has evolved over the past 15 years into a repository of India's change agents. Skillfully harnessing the potency of storytelling, the platform has embarked on a mission to empower every citizen to become a formidable force for positive change. With a robust presence across 5 languages, the Better India resonates with more than 200 million people every month. Here's the story.
Anuradha and I started noticing so many incredible people making a difference, and it started to kind of make us think, how could we make every citizen, every single citizen of this country a change maker, a force of good? And that is when we decided that we needed to create this movement. Better India today is India's largest platform that uses the power of stories to drive massive positive change. We are, I would say, the single largest archive of this country's goodness. It's been incredible to see the impact we've had, right? We brought water and sanitation in villages. We've helped urban slum schools get funded. We've helped farmers come out of poverty. We've even influenced some of the policies around environmental conservation. We've been able to kind of really drive both influence and inspiration. And really what kind of drove the idea of the Better India was this whole passion movement. We didn't apply the lens of conventional economics that otherwise govern the media sector. Because look, everybody needs inspiration. There's no way I can put that behind a paywall.
Our audience base of over 200 million people are so engaged and so lovingly share stories. You see these long emails from senior citizens who are telling us how they engaged with the story that they read and how they are now, adopting some of the solutions that they have come across. Say, for instance, rainwater harvesting. What we actively, proactively try to achieve is to bring the solutions as well as the problem solvers together. To give you an example, a project that we undertook internally to revive ponds in the drought-stricken district of Nagapattinam in Tamil Nadu. This was an area that was arid, that was prone to droughts year after year, and the population there was really suffering. We brought together NGOs that are working in the environmental sector to identify and then pool resources, crowdfund, and be able to revive several ponds in that district, impacting over 20,000 people.
We work with corporates and brands to partner with them on causes that they believe in and the causes that we believe in. Some of the ones that really stand out is this project that we created in partnership with Tata Communications called the School of Hope and Empowerment, where the idea was that how could we use digital storytelling to create entrepreneurs in rural India out of rural women. We also partnered with Niti Aayog, where the objective was lots of school children who have some great innovations, innovative ideas. How could we bring them to the forefront, get them to a formal process, get them incubated and so on. So we actually ran the whole innovation marathon, the ATL innovation marathon with Niti Aayog, spanning across 2,500 schools across the country.
For the Better India, from its inception, the main idea has been to use technology for social good. We are developing currently what is going to be India's largest database of service providers for the social impact sector. The other project is the use of artificial intelligence to create a bot that's going to be able to pass solutions from across across industries and be able to provide those solutions for pressing problems. Another one is the launch of a modular educational platform. It's called Careers with Purpose. It's aimed at helping any working professional to gain access to careers in the development sector.
What we are very, very clear about is that we want to be that really massive force to transform the impact sector, to really help them accelerate everything that they've been wanting to do, access to customers, get resources, talk about their impact, all of that. How can we help accelerate what would otherwise happen in 30 years? How could we help them have that in a year?
In the realm of healthcare, it's not merely limited access that leads to high mortality rates, but also poor care quality that kills the most vulnerable. The situation is especially grim for critical patients in small-town India. Their shot at timely treatment is slim. Driven by a mission to save lives and revolutionize healthcare, Dr. Shuchin Bajaj founded Ujala Cygnus. These hospitals offer high-grade intensive care to the marginalized and vulnerable across 5 states in India. The misconception that critical medical intervention must come at a steep price has been challenged by Dr. Bajaj. This is the awe-inspiring story of Ujala Cygnus.
I would get a lot of calls. Somebody's had a heart attack, somebody's had a head injury, somebody's critical, and we are bringing them to Delhi. I would keep waiting for them all night and they wouldn't turn up, and I would get to speak to them in the morning and I would hear words like, oh, the patient passed away on the way, he died on the way, and we turned back and now we are back in our villages. I would hear stories like, oh, maybe it's good that this person died on the way. The last one that did make it to Delhi stayed in hospital for 15 days. His wife had to sell their house, their fields. It's not just poor physical outcomes that you get if you stay in far-off communities, it is also the poor financial outcomes. More than 6 crore people slip below the poverty line every year in India just due to healthcare shocks. I dropped out of my super speciality course to start these hospitals in the small town. Started out with a very small single hospital, and now we have 20 hospitals across 5 states of North India, catering to all kinds of emergencies, serious illnesses, heart attacks, head injuries, intensive care, and all this at very high quality hospitals, and all this at costs that are less than 20% of what the big city hospitals have. Many people question us on how we make all this sustainable as a private enterprise, because we don't get aid or help from anyone, and we have private equity investors on board to answer to. So we started renting out buildings instead of buying a piece of land and building the hospital. That was the traditional way to go for most doctors. Second, we've successfully flipped the private healthcare model from a very low volume, high cost model that it traditionally has been to a very high volume, low cost model. And third, of course, financially it works very well for us, because the moment we cross a certain Rubicon of revenue and patients, most of the money then starts flowing into the bottom line. So we have been also the champions of the Ayushman Bharat scheme. We were the first corporate hospital to adopt that scheme wholeheartedly, when most corporate hospitals were very wary of it due to the lower prices. The first mitral valve surgery was done under the Ayushman Bharat scheme at one of our hospitals. Now we also do minimal invasive double valve replacements through open heart surgeries. We do bypasses through Ayushman. We do cancer treatments through Ayushman Bharat. Even though our main business is running hospitals, but we do try and make sure that people don't come to hospitals. So that is how our Sehat Chaupal and our telemedicine programs were born. We go village to village screening patients during the Sehat Chaupal. So we do almost 1 to 2 Chaupals around each of our 20 hospitals every day. Each Chaupal we will screen patients for tuberculosis, for eye diseases, for diabetes, hypertension, to make sure that their quality of life increases, and try and make sure that they never have to come to hospital for complications of these diseases. Having treated more than 2.5 million patients till today, having done more than 150,000 surgeries till today, and those are the numbers that we are really proud of. We are looking to expand into 4 more states in the next 3 to 4 years. India has more than 783 districts, and unfortunately in more than 550 of those districts there is no tertiary healthcare available. People living in all those districts have to go out to their surrounding cities or faraway cities to access healthcare, and as I said, this leads to poor physical and financial outcomes, which we are doing our best to prevent.
Creating social impact isn't just the work of one individual. It's a collaborative effort driven by a group of dedicated and passionate individuals. There isn't just a single issue that demands attention. There are numerous challenges that call for the same level of dedication that's been shown by these 4 change agents. We salute the social enterprise displayed by Dr. Aparna Hegde, Bijal Brahmbhatt, Anuradha Parekh, Dhimant and Dr. Shuchin Bajaj. It is now time for us to announce the winner of the Social Entrepreneur of the Year for 2023. Dr. Shuchin Bajaj, founder director of Ujala Cygnus. Congratulations to Shuchin and the entire team. We at CNBC-TV18 hope you continue with the stellar work that you are doing. Congratulations to all our change agents. We at CNBC-TV18 will continue to bring more stories of change, transformation and impact to inspire change makers within each one of us. I leave you with this quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, and I quote, "Do what you can with what you have, where you are." From all of us here on the team, goodbye. Thanks for watching.